to consider around be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. Third offense, disobey the orders of the spiritual master. You can say it out loud if you know them. Fourth offense, Vedic literatures or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version. Fifth offense, imagination. 6, meditation on the holy name of the Lord. 7, to commit sinful activity on the strength of chanting. 8, nine. It's also offensive to be inattentive. Bhaktivinoda says all the offenses come from inattention. So pay attention. You have to pay attention. I said yesterday, you don't have to be a great devotee. You have to be a good devotee, but you have to chant great japa. If you want to go back to Godhead, you got to chant great japa. And if you want to chant japa, you can't be offensive. Now, I commit most of these offenses. I don't really think I commit, sin on the strength that like I'm going to do something simple, like, well, I'll just chant and get out of it. I've never thought like that. But it's so easy to make offenses if you're not careful. And the only thing that can stop any of us from making spiritual progress is if we make offenses. So the best thing you can do is take shelter of Gaur Nitai, because they don't accept offenses. And you can't even chant the Maha Mantra without first chanting the Panchatattva mantra. And here's a reference. Thank you, Brigu. There are 10 offenses in chanting Hare Krishna, but these are not considered in the chanting of Panchatattva, namely, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavrinda. That's easy, right? Just chant that. Chant it all the time. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is known as the Mahavadanya Avatar, most magnanimous incarnation. He does not consider the offenses of the fallen souls. Thus, to derive the full benefit of chanting the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. One must first take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, learn the Panchatattva Maha Mantra, and then chant Hare Krishna. That will be very effective. So we all know the Panchatattva mantra. Lord Chaitanya is the most magnanimous, and Nityananda is even more merciful than him. So we take shelter of Gaur Nitai, and then we follow whatever the spiritual master tells you to do. It's simple for the simple. It's difficult for the crooked. And unfortunately, everybody's crooked. Here's another one. This is all from Adi Leela. By such chanting, one is blessed with the competency to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra without offense. One should seriously and sincerely continue to chant Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda. All the acharyas will bestow their causeless mercy upon a devotee and gradually purify his heart. When he is actually purified, then automatically he will experience ecstasy in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Considering the position of people in this age of Kali, however, the chanting of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name is more essential than the chanting of Hare Krishna. I'm going to read that again. Considering the position of the people in this age, however, the chanting of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name is more essential than chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most magnanimous incarnation of mantra. Everybody can chant that. No matter what else, chant that and beg Gaur Nitai for mercy. Somebody posted this, I don't know where it was from, but I liked it. It's the 3 C's. Never criticize, never complain, and always chant Hare Krishna. Those are the 3 C's. I don't know where they got that from, or they made it up or what, but I like it. Because if you pay attention and do your service and don't criticize and don't complain and always chant, then you're in a safe position and you can make spiritual advancement, which is what we're all here for. And like Brigu just said, he said if you follow the spiritual master, then at the end of your life, you go back to Godhead. Woohoo! I mean, everybody's going home, back home to Godhead. So, and this is another one. Chaitanya Charitamrita. When one is freed from the 10 offenses in chanting Hare Krishna, he develops ecstatic bodily features called pulak-kashru. Pulak means symptoms of happiness. Ashru means tears in the eyes. The symptoms of happiness and tears in the eyes must appear in a person who has chanted the holy name offenselessly. Once Prabhupada said that if a devotee is not happy, he's doing something wrong. So if I don't see any of that here. You guys are happy, blissful, surrendered souls. But if you see somebody moping around, complaining or bumming, and you go, hey, what are you doing wrong? There's a reason for everything. We take shelter of the spiritual master, and we follow his instructions, and we try our best to give up all our offenses. In this verse, it's stated that those who have actually developed the symptoms of happiness and tears in the eyes by chanting the glories of the Lord are eligible to enter the kingdom of God. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said, if one does not develop these symptoms while chanting Hare Krishna, it is to be understood that he is still offensive. I've been chanting Hare Krishna for over 50 years, and I got no tears, and I got no bliss, and I got no ecstasy, so that's the proof that I'm still, hey, I'm not giving up. I'm working on it. I haven't thrown my hat in yet, but I know that it's my fault. It's like tateno kampan sushamik shamano bunjana evatma kritam. Evatma kritam means you did it to yourself. You did it to yourself. There's no excuse. There's no one else to blame. It's just the way it is. I mean, this is the law. That if you surrender to Krishna, and if you're humble, sincere, Prabhupada always says serious and sincere, and you beg for mercy, then you don't have to worry. However, when I look at my history, and I've been chanting all these years, and I don't have much of a taste, but I do it because Prabhupada ordered me, and I know it's the medicine. You got to take the medicine. N-H-J-L Saudi Maya. You got to take the medicine every day. So you're taking the medicine by chanting and following, and look at these guys. They're so blissful. All of a sudden, they're just effulgent. They're lifelong vow. I love it. It's to be in it. There it is stated that if anyone takes shelter of Lord Chaitanya and just chants Hare Krishna, he becomes free from all offenses. So that's good. You just take shelter of Gaur Nitai, chant Hare Krishna, Panchatattva mantra first, and you become free from all offenses. The thing is that in the day-to-day process of devotional service, at least speaking for myself, the tendency is to take things for granted, and because the jiva is independent and he can do whatever he wants. Unfortunately, we don't always do the right thing. Of course, in association, it's a lot easier to be spiritual. If you have a crew like this and you're with them every day, their strength and your strength together, the synergy, it's powerful. I know when I chant my japa, if I'm in the temple with other devotees chanting, I chant better japa. I pay attention and I listen better. I just feel, because I'm in the presence of other Vaishnavas. And so our whole idea is we want to get out of this material world and go back to Godhead. So what we have to do is we have to become pure devotees. And I don't know about you, but to me, a pure devotee, I think of Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta and Bhakti Vinod and all these pure devotees. And it almost, especially for me, it seems impossible. But we read over and over that it is possible. And sincere, serious disciples can go back to Godhead. Prabhupada said in one life. Our remedy for the material life is very simple. Simply chant Hare Krishna and dance for Krishna. Work, prepare nice foods for Krishna, and then cent per cent, we will become free from all other influences. That's a 1968 letter. Simply chant for Krishna, dance for Krishna, work for Krishna, prepare nice foods for Krishna. You guys got that down. Nice prasadam, Prabhu. It's really nice. Anyway, if you do that, then you become free from all other influences. So it's, sometimes it seems hard or harder, but it's a simple process if you just apply it. And you might not feel ecstasy, you might not have tears, but I guarantee that you'll feel better if you do it. If you participate in following strictly. I mean, you just can't be strict enough. What was that Jayadvaita said? Nobody's ever fallen down from being too strict. That's pretty good. Vice says, choose carefully. Fill your life with positive spiritual sounds. Be careful what you hear. Negative vibrations linger. Positive vibrations uplift. You become what you repeatedly hear. So we're repeatedly hearing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. We repeatedly hear that, and then you become a pure devotee eventually. And then you go back to God and all your troubles are over. Printing for Krishna, same thing. Printing for Krishna, working for Krishna, dancing, same. Eating for Krishna. This is Krishna consciousness. Simply you have to change what is called interest. Everyone is acting. This simply take the negative side and stop dancing. And we say, no. They say, stop. And we shall dance for Krishna. We shall eat for Krishna. We shall print books for Krishna, not newspaper. Not newspaper. What's this one? Oh, okay. So, like I said, it's simple for the simple. But it takes dedication, and you have to try every day. Because I know when I wake up in the morning, I'm not feeling very devotional or sometimes not even human. So you have to, I have some crazy dreams at night sometimes. It's all sense gratification. Then you wake up and you go, whoa, Hare Krishna, Jai Prabhupada, and Pale Obeisance to Prabhupada, and then you start your day again. And I don't know about you guys, but it gets monotonous, and I'm really sick of it. But it's the truth. That after all these years of practicing and chanting and eating tons of prasadam, my mind is still full of all kinds of stupid desires, and I have, how many billions of births have I been in the material world? And it adds up. So if you just take shelter of your guru, take shelter of whatever he tells you to do, just do it, and do it sincerely. Try from your heart. You just try the best you can. And that's all you can do. All a devotee can do is try the best he can, because Krishna loves you more than you know. And he wants us to come home. Just like if you lost your children, because the whole material world is lost children. If somebody loses their kid, and then you find that kid and bring him back, how amazing is it? And how the parent's going to think, wow, I lost my kid, and now you brought him back. So that's what this is all about. It's about bringing back Krishna's lost children. They're lost. They're gone down the road bonkers. All they want to do is try to enjoy, and they're baffled at every step because you can't do it. What the soul needs has nothing to do with what the body needs. You could gratify the body on a high level, but it doesn't touch the soul's hankering to have spiritual. The soul needs spiritual, or it's just too hellish and suffering. But when the person's thinking, this is me, I'm this body, and my senses are asking for things, and I'm going to give it to them. And if you follow that, then not only do you go to hell, but you're not happy. It's no fun, going and getting kicked in the face every time you try to do something to enjoy, like the ass. The ass is going to his girlfriend, and he gets kicked in the face. That's no fun. And that's what everybody's doing in this world, walking around going, I want that, I need this, I need the new 16. And it doesn't get anywhere near satisfaction. And everybody's stressed out and unhappy. And you see it in the world. Now, there's so many wars going on the planet right now. Because why? Because people are lusty, angry, greedy, illusioned, envious. They have all these qualities in their heart, and they're not doing anything to get it out. So the devotee has the task. The sadhaka wants to clean the heart. Chaito darpana marjanam. And the way to do it is simple, but you have to do it. And you have to do it every day. And I do have good days in my japa. Most of the time it's like, it's like taking medicine. And then when I'm done with my japa, I love to read, so I read and I feel like, oh, thank you, Prabhupada, I get to read. But you have to do what you vowed to do. That's probably the most important thing for any disciple. You take this initiation. Prabhupada said it many times. He also said that anybody that can't keep his vows is not even a gentleman. Because here you are in front of the deities, in front of your guru, in front of the Vaishnavas, in front of the fire. And they always say, what are the 4 regular principles? And then you say it, and then you say, and I'm going to try to chant 16 rounds at least every day for the rest of my life. And that, it only takes a couple seconds to say these things. But you guys are young, and you got another 60 years or so or more, and you're going to do this every single day. Now, obviously, to me, it looks like you all have a taste the way you are, the way you serve, the way you have kirtans, the way you go out and distribute zillions of books. So obviously, you guys are plugged into the right energy. And you have a great leader in Bhakti-Vikas Maharaj because even if you have a good crew, if you don't have a leader, there's all kinds of chances that things won't go well. But if you have a leader, especially someone who's approachable, when I had troubles, I couldn't just go to Prabhupada and ask him, I had to go to the temple president or the GBC or whatever. But you guys can talk to the Maharaj. You can see the Maharaj. I went and saw him the other day, and I was supposed to have a 15-minute slot, and I was in there for over half an hour. And I didn't want to leave, but I felt like I didn't want to take his time up either. But it was I came out of there feeling like, wow, I can do this. Maybe I can be Krishna conscious too. And that's the whole point, is that if you're enlivened, if you're inspired to clean your heart and do whatever it takes to get out of this material world, it works. And we've seen it. There's devotees on this planet that are walking around with us, and they're having a higher taste. I've seen it with so many of my godbrothers. And so we can see examples like that it is possible that even a lowly person like me, if I get into the good sangha and if I practice, then it'll work. Anyway, be careful. Don't make offenses. Be nice. You have to be nice. And you have to, if you get offended, don't take it seriously. You don't want to interfere with any progress that you're trying to make here. And you can't, like I said, just like Vrindavan Das Thakur says that spiritual goals remain, what did he say? Unfulfilled, as long as you're critical of others. And he didn't say critical of Vaishnavas or critical of your guru. He said critical of others. That's everything, everybody. So give up criticizing, give up complaining, and always chant Hare Krishna. And if there's ever any doubt, open a book. Or push a button and listen to Prabhupada, or listen to Bhakti-Vikas Maharaj, or so many others, Radhanath and Vaish. And these devotees, they're blissful spiritual people, and they have a genuine taste. So when they tell you something, it goes in your heart. Be careful what you put in your ear, because it ends up in your heart. And we're trying to clean the heart, so you don't want to put more dirt on there. It's like trying to start a fire and you're pouring water on it. Thank you. Right, it says don't dump here because it goes to the... Right. Yeah, in Florida, they have signs all over. Don't dump here, it goes to the springs. Of course, no. The springs have all been sold to Nestle. They're putting the springs in little plastic bottles. Anyway, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but that's the truth. Whatever you put in here ends up in here. And I don't need any more dirt in here. I don't want any distractions. I want to get out of here. I've suffered enough. I've tried everything, and it over and over again, and it doesn't work. It doesn't help. And you end up going back, oh, geez, what did I do? Okay, where was I? So save yourself the trouble. Pray to be offenseless. And take shelter of your spiritual master's order. Okay? Apurva Prabhu, do you have a mic? Aparata sasrani kriyantarani sammaya dasohamidi mamatva shamasvamadusudana pratigya tavagovinda name bhakta pranasyati iti samsmritya pranan samdara yamyam.
You made a very good point. Explaining that the secret of success is to take full shelter of Shishi during the time. So my question is, can you expand on that a little bit? What would that look like?
It looks like every day when we're chanting japa, and I know I do, between every round, I chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shivasari Gaur Bhaktarinda, knowing that they don't accept my offenses. And when I'm out on Sankirtan, especially when I'm having a tough day, I just chant Nitai, 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 Pahimam, Gora, 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 Pahimam, save me. And I think like that. And my troubles go away when I pray like that. I mean, I'm walking out there in the parking lot and people are giving me trouble and stuff, and they're not buying books, and I'm like, I get frustrated and I want to sell books. It's annoying. So I just surrender and I start praying, and whatever happens, happens. And every single time I surrender to Gaur Nitai, good things happen. Sometimes I'm walking around out there singing Udilo Anapura Babage because I'm thinking, Lord Chaitanya's dancing down the street, giving out prema. This is not an ordinary Kali Yuga. This is the golden Kali Yuga. You don't just get Vaikuntha. You can go to Goloka Vrindavan and have prem. Krishna prema. Lord Chaitanya is giving it out. Even Jagai and Madai. So take shelter of Gaur Nitai is the simplest thing, but you have to do it. Just do it all the time. There's another purport in the CC where Prabhupada says, actually, it's better to just chant the Maha Mantra, chant the Panchatama Maha Mantra, because you don't have to worry about the offenses. So I like that. I always like Mayapur. After I leave Vrindavan to go to Mayapur, I think, okay, I'm in Mayapur. They're not accepting my offenses. So you have to. We're so fortunate because Prabhupada came and he knew who he was dealing with. And he said, just do this, don't do this. And you get back to Godhead. Is that okay? What else? Mahotsa, you got something?
Oh, yeah, I was wondering, could you explain the difference between discrimination and criticism? Because we do discriminate from, whatever. There's obviously there's demons and there's karmis and there's devotees and there's all these things. And it seems like there's a fine line.
Well, the difference between what?
Discrimination and criticism.
Discrimination and criticism. I know it's a fine line. The thing is that err on the side of not making offense, and you can always humbly approach your spiritual master or other devotees and get their opinion on this, and you can all get together and read Prabhupada's books about it. But you just have to be careful. I mean, some people have the position where they need to correct behavior, things that people are doing wrong, and if they can do it humbly and sincerely, that's really nice. And it's needed. It is needed. But we're not all in that position. So if I see somebody doing something, I don't want to go up to them and say, hey, you could go up to them and humbly ask them, what are you doing? But I just say, be careful. You don't want to criticize. I mean, like he says, critical. That's what he said. Your spiritual goals will remain unfulfilled as long as you're critical of others. I mean, you know what that means, critical of others. Don't criticize anybody. What else?
Unless, as you said, it's your service, right?
Well, unless it's your job, yeah. But most of us don't have that job. And all of us love to do it. Everybody, it's, when I was, right before I left Alachua, we had Haladar Swami there from Orissa. And he was talking about, it's so easy to see faults in everybody, but not me. And that's the fact. It's, everybody's mind, most people's minds, is their greatest enemy. And your mind will get you in trouble if you let it. So when your idiot mind starts saying something, criticizing or finding fault, just run the other way. Pray to Lord Chaitanya to forgive you and save you from that, because that's just a place you do not want to go, right? Anyone who claims to be a Vaishnava must carefully guard against these offenses in order to make. And in the beginning of that prayer, it says that if you chant Hare Krishna for millions of years, if you're offensive, you won't get the prem. That's scary. You want to chant japa for millions of years and not get the prem? I want the prem, or at least something. I want to get out of Maya is what I want to get. You know, whether I get prem or not, that's in the future. But I want to get to the point where I'm strong in my spiritual life so I can do my service without being distracted. I mean, distractions are just like every second of the day there's a distraction. You can be on the altar, you can be cooking in the Lord's kitchen, you can be on Sankirtan, you can be in a Harinam party, and if you listen to your idiot mind, you could still be in Maya. I mean, it's hard for me to understand how pujaris are dressing the deities. And, you know, because I have a connection on the altar because my wife dresses the deities, and then unfortunately, you have to hear, you know, the inside stuff that goes on right on the altar, people that are like, you got those flowers, I want those flowers, I wanted to decorate them like that. And they're like, and I'm like, come on, you guys, you're up there with the Lord. You should try to be nice. I always tell people, be nice to each other. It's needed. It's something that we really don't have in the material world, is nice. Everybody wants, this is another thing Haladar Maharaj said. He said, everybody wants love. But you can't get it anywhere. Where can you get love? And he said, there's two people that can give you love. And one's Krishna, and the other is Krishna's pure devotee. And you guys have that. You have, this is an opportunity that you don't usually get, right? Brahmanda, Brahmite, Kona, Bhagavan, Jeev, Guru, Krishna, Prasade, Bhai, Bhakti, Ladabij. You got the seed of love of God given to you by Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya, and your Guru. All you have to do is water it. You have to water. And be careful when you're watering, because weeds grow too. And sometimes weeds can grow faster than the Bhakti Lata beach. So be careful what you put in your ears. Stay safe. And always be meek and humble. It's a safe position. No matter what happens, if you're meek and humble, you can always progress. Anything else? Before you take your lifelong vows to go back home to Godhead? Oh, I'm sorry, ladies. Please. I mean, Madajis, Prabhus.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Little louder.
I think it's not working. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Can we have a mic that works? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Haribo.
Pronounce. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
So, in Bhakti, I feel that the biggest impediment is the mind. So particularly when we chant japa, so many times we observe that, okay, some things are not going in the alignment with Srila Prabhupada teachings. But we can't do anything about that. But still, when I sit for chanting, the first thing comes into mind is that thing whichever I have seen. Because our mind says, oh, it is not the thing what Srila Prabhupada said, but it is going somehow going on here. But I can't do anything. But my japa will be completely disturbed. So how we can convince our mind that, okay, it's none of your business and you have to focus on the holy name.
What did Bhaktisiddhanta say about the mind? He said, beat the mind 100 times with a stick in the morning and beat it another 100 times with a boot when you go to bed. I mean, I tried that, that's a lot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 100 beatings. Still, my mind says, it didn't even faze me. Because the mind is just, we get bored. That's the problem. I notice that when I'm chanting japa, you're with Krishna. Krishna's on your tongue. But instead of taking shelter of that, I see something and I go, well, that's bogus. You don't want to do that. Don't do that. And when your mind does that, say, shut up, mind. Chant Hare Krishna and just listen. When I sit and chant japa, when I first went to that temple in Detroit, they gave me the beads, and I knew the mantra because, I knew the Beatles. And I sat down and I said, what do I do? And he said, just repeat the mantra and listen to it. So when I sit down for my japa in the morning, I put myself back there in my mind because that was like sincere chanting for me. Because I just sat there and I was waiting for something to happen, They said, just chant in here. And I was thinking, wow, this is going to be great. It's going to be exciting. There'll be colors and music. And I didn't know what to expect because I was an idiot. But I just listened. And nothing happened, but I felt really peaceful and I liked it. And I always try to schedule it in so I can get at least an hour and 45 minutes for just japa, nothing else. And then, of course, you're not alone. You're there with your mind. And you have to pray, beg for mercy. Bhaktivinoda says you have to beg to chant the holy name. It sounds easier than it is. Don't give up, though. That's why it's a daily thing. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. We get up every morning and we do the same thing every single day. Our morning program, everything we do is always the same. And like I said, we have 75 books of reference, or hundreds more, too, besides Prabhupada's, that if you have any questions or if you're wondering what's going on, or just look at the database and say, trouble with my mind. It's just, we have all kinds of information that you can use against your mind. Do it. Okay?
Prabhu, when we feel that the japa was really bad that day, what we can do to, to cover up that, at least to make it good or make it feel better the next day to do better japa.
You're asking the wrong guy. I have a lot of lousy japa days, but I still do it. You know what I mean? I diligently do my japa. And devotees say, gee, Div, how come you're there in the morning every day chanting japa? I go, because I have to. Are you, what's going to happen if I don't chant my rounds? And they go, what? And I go, I don't know, but I don't want to find out. I've already done that so many times, and you're like, what happened? Where am I? What did I do? And you don't have to go that way. You can admit that, wow, that was a lousy japa session. I was thinking about, there's so many things. But what can you do? The next day, guess what? You're going to get up and you got 16 rounds. Just be glad it isn't 64. I know a couple devotees that are trying to chant 1 lakh. It takes all day. It's I chant 17. That's the truth. After I do my 16, I just want to, I'm done. I'm going to read. But I chant 1 more round just to say, all right, I'm going to chant 1 more round. And I can't imagine chanting more. There's a lot of stuff going on in life. And like I said, in the morning, you take shelter and do it. Okay? It's all better now, right? Anything else? All right, come on. Say something, you guys. Haribo, Prabhu. One thing, a quote from Prabhupada, this is a lecture in London, the Brahma Muhurta. And Prabhupada said, if you read 1 hour during the Brahma Muhurta, it's the same as reading 5 hours the rest of the day. I think it's 73. You can find it. It's London. It's a class he gave in London. When I told this in Govardhan, the devotees came to me after and said, "Where is that? Where'd you find that?" And then they found it and said, "Look, here it is." Because that's one thing I do. I listen to Prabhupada all the time. And you'll hear something like that, and you go, "What? 5 hours, 1 hour?" So I do my job, because I like to do my chad, my chapter a day. And if I do my chapter a day during Brahma Muhurta, that's 5 chapters. I did a chapter, that's 5. And now that's a good deal. And the same with your japa. If you chant japa, you can chant japa at midnight if you have to or if you want to, but it's much better, much more conducive in the peaceful, sweet hours before sunrise. Is that okay? Just chant. It doesn't really, if anybody can just chant Hare Krishna all the time, then you're there. You're winning. Always hearing. You constantly have to hear. I just know myself, if I'm not constantly hearing spiritual stuff, I walk in my house, I leave it on 24/7. Bhajan, lectures, all just Prabhupada all the time. So whatever you're doing, if you're cooking or in between things or you're just putting clothes on or shaving or whatever, and I'm listening to Prabhupada. And it's not that hard. You just have to push a button, and there it is, Prabhupada speaking. So stay in spiritual sound, right? Keep the transcendental vibration going. That's what Vaishya always says. And I do. You have to, otherwise the other stuff comes in, and who needs any more of the mundane sound? Prabhu found it.
Oh, Prabhu.
Prabhu's amazing, isn't he?
Yeah, so it says, so in this age, according to the Vedic system, everyone should rise early in the morning, at least 1.5 hours before the sunrise. That is called Brahma Muhurta. During that time, if you read, say, 1 hour, this 1 hour is equal to 5 hours in the daytime. It is so
See,
convenient.
I didn't make it up. It's true.
Yeah.
You read a chapter of Gita in the morning, it's worth 5 chapters.
Yeah. Technically, as I mentioned to you last night, it's from 1 hour and 1 hour and 36 minutes before the sun rises, and it ends 48 minutes before the sun rises. A Muhurta is 48 minutes. So from an hour 36 minutes before the sun rises to 48 minutes before the sun rises, technically that's Brahma Muhurta.
Thank you, Brigu.
No, a Muhurta is 48 minutes. So
Only 48.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a Muhurta.
But
So from
Prabhupada there said an hour and a half before sunrise, just,
Yeah, that's the beginning of it. And it goes for 48 minutes.
And what do you got to do now? You got to go to bed early. That's all you got to do. Devotees ask me all the time, how do you go to the morning program every day, Div? And I go, what are you talking about? I say, write this down. Go to bed early. What's to do for a devotee after 9 or 10 o'clock at night? There's a lot to do, but not for a devotee. You could go out on Sankirtan. You guys probably go out and do Sankirtan till midnight. God bless you. That's awesome. Of course you do. You're young. And you're inspired, and you're also, purity is the force, and you guys have that. See, that's something I don't have. I never did get that. I'm working on it, and I don't resent the principle. Prabhupada says in that purport, that famous
31.
purport, that sometimes you can't follow the spiritual masters strictly, but don't resent the principle. Oh, what's that?
So, you've been doing this for some time, and from some things that you've said, it seems like you have some, So, what was the comeback story? Or did you have,
man.
did-
Which one?
See,
the problem is,
what was the best comeback?
it's just, in the Sri Upanishad, it says that one result is derived from something, and then another result is obtained from, and you can see an example, because me and Vaish came up together. We were both told the same thing. We were both initiated by Prabhupada. We both had the same facility. And look at Vaish, and then look at me. Don't look too close. But And I don't resent the principle, and every time I blooped and fell down and did stupid things, I always came back with my tail between my legs and begged for forgiveness. And guess what? They forgave me because I wouldn't be here if they didn't. But look at the difference. The glorious Vaishnavas who follow strictly. I mean, I took side paths, and here's Prabhupada, and I'm like, whoa, what's this? Or what's that? And the next thing you know, I got in a car crash once, and I got $100,000.
You got it? Or
Somebody crashed into me from behind, and we went to court, and they gave us $100,000. And, things went different then. And, I traveled a little, did some stupid stuff. I still was doing Sankirtan, even in Thailand, and Hawaii and stuff like that. But, distractions are bad enough, on your own. But somebody hands you $100,000, then the distractions become, well, maybe I could go back to Thailand. Stupid. And then you end up, you're like, Hare Krishna, luckily we got temples all over the place, so you can go take shelter. But I don't really want to tell you any more dirty stories, because nothing amazing. I mean, I didn't go out and kill anybody. I didn't go out eating meat or anything. But, I was distracted. Anybody that's been married more than once, you got to know this guy's distracted. He's got issues. So what you have to do is be strict, be safe, be careful. I mean, I feel like talking to you guys, I look at these devotees here that are so filled with spiritual life. And you go out, where'd you go yesterday? It was raining, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did it in-house.
Oh, in-house.
Yeah, we had to do it.
Because I said, look at that score. How do they do that? It was raining. When it rains in Florida, I have to go inside the stores or in a mall, or you know what I mean? I went in Disney. I just walked in there like I own the place. They got cameras all over the place.
Yeah, oh my God.
After the third time they kicked me out of Disney, they said, don't ever come back here, we'll arrest you. So I didn't. So I just worked the periphery, I worked the Walmarts and the stores outside of Disney, and it's all tourists. But when it rains, I can't talk to anybody, and books getting wet, and people are going, it's raining. But that's anyway. Yeah, in-house. Duh. What else? Oh, it's...
Sorry, I don't mean to hog the mic. One last question. Bro, we tried to distribute books in Orlando, and we got popped in 6 Walmarts within less than an hour. So, how do you do?
That's because I smoked the place before you got there.
That's probably what it is. Bro, 6 Walmarts in Orlando, 6 Walmarts within less than an hour. I don't know. We just get there immediately.
They're all burnt out by me.
What, are you the cause? Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not messing around. When I go on Sankirtan, I'm not messing around. I'll go to your Walmart.
Prabhu, I just want to thank you for giving me and Navani Hoda a blissful experience in Orlando. We got popped at 6 Walmarts in less than 1 day. And
That might be a record.
the last Walmart we went to, I was fired up. And I was like, Prabhu, I'm sick and tired of getting popped. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to pop off. I don't care who it is. And less than 5 minutes, the security guard comes up to me and he says, get out. And then I called Navani Hoda. I'm like, Prabhu, you won't believe it. He said, what happened? He said, Prabhu, what happened? I was like,
Welcome to my
I
life.
popped.
You guys are still young. You can take a punch here and there, man. I'm old, and they come out and threaten to arrest me. They came out at one of the Walmarts right by Disney. And this is the first time it happened. This was several years ago. And the cop pulls up, and he goes, excuse me, sir, they told me that they've asked you not to do this, and you keep coming back. And I'm like, I'm on a mission from God. That's what I told him. Like the Blues Brothers. I'm on a mission from God, officer. What do you want me to say? So he goes, come here. And he books me at the car. Prints, picture, booked. And he says, sign this. If you ever come back to this Walmart, you're going to jail. And I never go back to that one. And that Bhakta Max thing, I didn't finish that story. When he took those 2 boys out, they drove up to Lake City, which is only 30 miles from Alachua. It's the closest place to go out of Gainesville and work.
That's a good Walmart.
That's great. But I said, so how did it go? And they said, we lasted 10 minutes in that Walmart. And Max saw the guy getting kicked out, one of the devotees getting kicked out, so he went to the other side of the parking lot, and he said in 5 minutes, this security car lady pulled up and said, get out of here. And they were really, and I told them the same thing. I said, sorry, guys, I cooked that place. Now, it's funny, because I was out in Lake City, because sometimes I hate driving, and I'm driving like 2,000 miles a week sometimes. It's insane, because if you don't drive, then you have to get booked. So I'm always going to the next place. And this cop came, I happened to be in a Winn-Dixie, because I was kicked out of the Walmart. So I'm working the Winn-Dixie, and the cop comes up, and he goes, well, what are you doing? And I said, well, I showed him, I gave him a book, etc. And he goes, well, why don't you come down to the station and get a permit? And I said, well, okay. I went down, they gave me a permit. And I said, this doesn't mean you can go on Walmart and Winn-Dixie and Publix, but you can do what you're doing for your 501c3, because I showed him everything. And he said, you can do this in Lake City. Just be careful where you do it, because he said Walmart and Winn-Dixie are going to call us if they see you. So I still go back. There's an Aldi there, there's a Publix there. It's huge. Anyway, it's just part of it. And like I said, yes, if they chased Lord Nityananda down the street in Haridas Thakur, what are they going to do to a guy like me? Vishnu.
Hare Krishna. So, now, some devotees prefer to read in the morning because they feel that I can get my reading in, and then anyways I'm going to somehow chant my rounds, and I'll get my rounds in. Other devotees argue that if you do that, the quality of your rounds go down the drain. And I mean, there is some truth to it, because the morning rounds are just the best. So sometimes there's this dilemma, because if we do get our reading and we feel good, and then we have this wonderful quote now. So just if you can
Prabhu,
comment on that.
There's a sentence, maybe more than once, but a sentence that Prabhupada said the most important order from the Guru that you should follow is to chant 16 rounds. Now, however you, and whenever you do it, that's up to you, but everybody knows it's much better in the morning. And I always have the tendency to because I love to read. I mean, I can read for hours, and I do. But not until I chant my japa. I don't want to have 3 rounds left later and go, you know, you're driving on the road chanting. I know devotees that chant most of their rounds driving to work and stuff, and I'm like, it's great, chant japa wherever you go, whatever you do, but that's not meditation. Meditation means block out everything except the sound of the holy name. You're with Krishna. Can you imagine you're with Krishna, and you're saying, hey, Krishna, and then he goes, what? And you're like, looking over there, you know, and the Lord's like, you just called me, what do you want? And you're like, and he's over here. So you have to be careful, and like I said, you got to schedule it in. I have to schedule it in no matter what happens. If I can't get up early, I have to schedule a private time that I can meditate. Because when I sit there and read, I read out loud, and it doesn't matter what's going on because I'm reading out loud and I love it, I hear. But when I'm just chanting Hare Krishna, I need a sacred space, and the best time is the Brahma Muhurta, or as early as possible. Don't neglect your reading, though. You can always read before bed. We always used to read Krishna book with our hot milk, and it was every night. That's what we do. That's how I first heard the whole Krishna book, from hot milk and banana time. What else? Prabhu. You want to give him a mic, you guys? We got time?
Is it on?
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So, Prabhu, you were talking about getting popped in Orlando? 6 places, okay.
To the mouth.
So, if you
To the
don't
mouth.
mind, I'd like to give
Hey.
if you don't mind, I'd like to give a little Sankirtan story. So, one marathon, we were in El Paso, Texas. And so there's a real sweet mall there. And so I was working that mall. I'd go into a store and get a bag with a little handle, you know, those bags, with little handles on them, and put my books in there, and they would think I was shopping.
I've done that.
I
Guilty.
I figured. But after a few days, the security guard, he kept seeing me, and so he, I'm going to kick you out, So I went to the store and bought a Dallas Cowboys hat. I wore that hat and worked the rest of the marathon. Hare Krishna.
I'm going to give me one of them hats. Prabhu, I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Give him the mic. What's your name?
Your name?
Oh, he knows my name.
Oh, please, I forgot. I have no memory.
Okay, Sadhu?
Sadhu Marg.
Morgan.
I got to tell this. When I got here, we bumped into each other, like coming around the corner. And he goes, Divyanga Prabhu. He goes, I think you're my Vartmanika Pacharya. And I was like, what? And he goes, he said in 1973, he met me and I gave him a Bhagavad Gita. And when I asked for the donation, he said, I only have $7. And it was the only money he had. He had $7 and he gave it to me. I couldn't have remembered this, but he reminded me and he said, thank you so much for that Bhagavad Gita. Oh, that was far out. That was just made me feel so good. I was like, wow. Because, I give a lot of books. I'd never see the people again. You give them a book, they fly away or they drive away. You never see them. Another one that was really cool is my friend he's a Bengali, moved from Mayapur to Alachua. And this was, 10 years ago. I was doing the airport there in Orlando. It was awesome. And he came in the airport and he told me later, I sold him a Gita, and I didn't remember. And he came to me and said, Prabhu, I want to thank you. I walked in the airport coming from Mayapur, and I see a white guy standing there with a Bhagavad Gita. And then you came up to me and you gave me the Bhagavad Gita. So he bought the Gita from me when he arrived. And same thing, I thought, man, I love that because I don't really get that kind of reciprocation, that somebody actually got benefit from what I was doing. I just give them the book and I never see them again. This is the way it is. You got something, Bob?
Little.
Please.
Okay. Is that as you heard what was mentioned, the hour and a half before sunrise, but a muhurta is only 48 minutes. So in reality, it's 2 muhurtas. And both those muhurtas are very auspicious. So the thing is, that's why in that period of time, which is an hour and a half, then the thing is, both those muhurtas together make 90 minutes. So you want to catch those every day. That's the best time for making spiritual advancement. So, because I remember one time I analyzed it and I go, wait a minute, a muhurta is only 48 minutes. What's this hour and a half stuff? So then I had to look on the muhurta chart, and then it showed that those muhurtas before sunrise, those 2 or 3, are very auspicious. That's why it's always great to, if you go traveling, do it before sunrise, and then you'll be successful.
Thank you, Pandit Ji.
Namadas.
Oh, you look so pukka. Oh, we have, please.
Thanks for pointing that out, Shira Prabhu. The first muhurta, the first 48 minutes is called Brahma. The second 48 minutes is called Savitur. So, thank you for bringing that up. I don't know. Oh, okay.
That's when everyone's driving to work.
Hare Krishna.
That's it. Thank you very much, Prabhus and initiates and everybody else aspiring and every other Vaishnava here. Thank you so much for letting me be here. I feel so fortunate just to be here. Thank you so much, Mahotsa. I really appreciate it. Please forgive my offenses. Vancha kalpadrivyascha kripa sindhavyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Sarva Vaishnavena Prayakari Namaskar Iteya Parada Kichu Nahuka Amar means I offer my obeisances to all Vaishnavas so I don't offend any of them.
Nice.
Haribol. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna. That's right.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.